What is up guys, Shift from the Shadow coming back at you today with another attack strategy video, and this one is going to be the Viability of Dragons at Town Hall 9. Now we already did one of these for Town Hall 8 and the basic concepts, the fundamentals, they are all just going to be the same, we are not going to repeat that. So check out my last video if you haven't already. It was for Town Hall 8, the Viability of Dragons for Town Hall 8, link would be in the description below. And let's talk about Dragons per Val. Personally, I think that they are a bit underused at Town Hall 9 in the current state of the game when lava hounds and balloons they are just overpowered, but dragons are actually not that bad. They are still an option, they are still viable, they are still living, they are still existent. Now there is an attacking fundamental that is called waste of DPS, and this is something that you have to keep in mind not only for dragons but for every single attack. Like if there is an area of the base that you want to take out with your kill squad and 4 Valkyries can do it, why should you take 6 Valkyries? This is something that most people do not understand with dragons. Like if 6 dragons can do it, why should you take 8 or 9? Now we as humans, we have a general tendency to become spammy. Anything that looks like spam is easy, and all we want at the end is easy 3 stars, and that's it, right? Remember those days when we had 40 miners at Town Hall 10 and they used to repel any Town Hall 10? Remember those days when, actually those days are still here, Witch Slap at Town Hall 9, Baller Witch at Town Hall 10, all of them are spam attacks, and all of them are the most used attacks. In terms of dragons, I would say that we think that only 5 dragons, it is so less apparently, let's be safe and let's take 8 of them. But what we are actually doing is we are over investing, but we will not get the value on our investment. Like any other troop, dragons, they have their strengths, they have their weaknesses. Their weaknesses, seeking air mines, air defenses, air sweeper, and an area with high hit point buffers. An area that is close and tightly packed with storages, that is what dragons get stuck on. That is it. Anything else in the base does not matter to dragons, especially when they are under rage. I mean, they are just something special. Everything under rage is something special, to be honest. Their strength is their durability and their ability to take out kill zones. You cannot expect them to wipe out a whole base, but at the same time, if you can just account for all of the A defenses or for the A defenses that are protecting a particular section, then they can clear any small or big section of the base no matter how strong the defenses are. I mean, no matter if there's an Archer Queen there, there are Expos there are 4 Teslas there, does not matter to dragons. If they are in the race, they can just wipe out any small or large section of the base. Alright, now this is the base that you are looking at, and this is the base that actually is going to be the first one for today's video that we are going to sketch. So what Ashu does right here is he starts with his king at the barrack, and the king's goal is to he deploys the king at an angle. Just remember that bisector concept. He wants the king to go down to that army camp next. So what the king does is he walks down to 3 o'clock, takes the barrack and takes the army camp. Now if that is done, look at the funnel he's got for his queen. He drops the queen at the Alicia collector, the queen works her way to the gold mine, and then finally she has to go in. She has no other way to go because the king has already created a funnel for her. The queen steps into that compartment. He has a nice wall breaker there. We'll come to that when we watch the actual attack. His goal is to take out this A defense. That is it. He does not want to take out the enemy clan castle. He does not even trigger the enemy clan castle. He does not even do anything about the enemy queen. So the value that he gets on the investment of his 2 heroes, wall breakers and an archers, is this whole compartment with the possible exception for gold mine. Let's come down south here. He starts with the zap quaking of that central A defense, that is the most inaccessible A defense, and it's logical to zap quake that. Deploys a couple of dragons onto those 2 structures, wants to get those 2 taken care of so that his main group of dragons does not stray around. Same thing for the other side of the front. He drops a dragon onto that barrack. Once that barrack is down, his main group is going in, deploys all of his remaining dragons. He has a couple of loons on that bomb tower. Unfortunately, that bomb tower does go early due to the rage spell on those dragons, and those balloons they actually get distracted to that wizard tower. A lava hound is dropped to tank straight onto that second A defense, and what I like about this attack is he has 2 nice rage spells because he used only 2 lightning spells, and that is it. I mean, if you can save 2 lightning spells because you get an A defense out of your heroes, you should always do that. Now look at what's remaining on the base. 3 visitors, there's a line of 3 visitors. Let's talk about the visitors for a while. The visitor at Town Hall 9, or at any Town Hall level, it does a splash damage. So if there is a group of balloons and they are constantly under visitor fire, the group of balloons is definitely under danger. But if there is a group of dragons, or if there is any high hit point troop like a colon, the visitor is not going to do anything. Same thing for the multi-inferno. It's just like a multi-inferno. It does not do anything to your dragons. Now for your archer queen and for your CC, you'll see that in the main attack. Alright fellas, let's get all of this taken out of the way and let's walk into the attack. So Ashu here hitting th9 from USMC, the US Marine Corps. Yes, it is the official United States Marine Corps that we had a friendly war against. Starts in with the Zapquake on the central air defense. But look at what he grabs. He actually weakens an air sweeper and weakens 2 archer towers. So if you can do that with the Quake spell, always do it. It's a good idea. Notice that small bomb that gets triggered by that archer. Had that small bomb not been triggered, not been pre-triggered before deploying those wall breakers, it would have just killed those wall breakers. The swag test wall breaker coming down here. He's gonna pop the king's ability because he wants to get that funnel taken care of. He wants to ensure that his queen has no other option but to go in. Now that elixir collector could be something dangerous had the queen walked down to it, but I think the army camp is really distant. So the queen is going to pop her ability, takes that first air defense down, and then archer tower should go down, I believe, but the gold mine does almost falls short of firepower there. Does not quite take the gold mine, but anyway, that doesn't matter, that does not, right? It starts with his dragons, and notice those dragons trying to funnel his main group of dragons. Those dragons on the sides trying to funnel his main group of dragons. He has a rage spell. And look at that loons. That group of loons was directed towards the bomb tower, but since that bomb tower it went down early, the group of loons went to the other compound. So this is something that you have to take care of. Do not delay your loons too much. Like, you have to delay them, that's okay, because you do not want them to take their beating from the base, but do not delay them too much. Now the air sweepers, the dual air sweepers doing work here. 2 puffs, the enemy queen, that is gone, that is history. So that is what I was saying, guys. The enemy queen, the enemy CC does not matter when you have got a ton of dragons. Now look at this base. What is left is visitors. We already talked about that. They do not do anything against your dragons. You have a couple of, no, not a couple, actually you have 3 architects to deal with, and that is the only major threat on this base. But I think more than the archer towers, the threat is those 2 air sweepers. Let's talk about how the air sweeper works. It pushes your air troops back, we all know that. But what it actually does is, it clumps all of your troops into a particular location in that base design. So you notice all of those dragons, they were spread out, but with the due to the fact that 2 air sweepers are alive, actually 1 at this point, those dragons, they get clumped up to a particular location of the base, and this is what leads to waste of DPS, because like 2 dragons, they are enough to take down an archer tower, but now you have like 4 to 5 dragons hitting an archer tower. This is a waste of DPS. I'm sorry for that notification though. I'll try to cut that out. So that is it for this attack. Nice work to Ashu taking on th9. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so let's have a look at the second base that we are going to discuss. This is a current meta under 3-star, purely under 3-star, offset AD defense kind of base design. So you see these bases a lot, not in the casual community but in the hardcore community, especially in CWL, leagues like LWCW, then LTWL, all of those. You see these bases a lot. These bases with offset AD defense. So let's talk about what is the goal of these bases. Basically, what the attacker is, what the defender is doing is he's tempting you to come with an air raid. But what actually is the trick behind these kind of bases is that if you send in a kill squad, like suppose you start a train walk and then you gain charge and then get all of these air defenses taken care of, you get all 4 air defenses, which should be a lot of value, or which apparently is a lot of value for a kill squad. But look at what else you get. I mean, what is the bonus? The bonus is your cannons. Now, if your plan is to get all 4 air defenses and then Lalo or dragons or baby dragons, the backside of the base, just look at how heavily protected it is against it. You have all archer towers, you have all wizard towers, and then you have the archer queen It is so difficult to get the archer queen from this side of the base where all A defenses are located. But Troll here, he's a second account of anti, so it was kind of like a mixed family war where that is kind of ridiculous though when you are attacking your own account, and Troll is the lower account, so props to him for that. What he does right here is starts with the golem right here on this mortar. I mean, there's no other option for the golem to go there, so had there been an option, he would have directed the golem here because he wants to target for these 3 cannons. So just for you guys to know, it starts with the funnel creation and the army camp. I mean, I would like to talk about the army camps. They are great funnel creators due to their large space, that they occupy. If you get the army camp taken care of, everything you deploy here is gonna stay here. So they are also termed as great funnel creators. It starts with this funnel here, and wall breaks this junction. He does take care not to open the adjacent junctions because he wants a channel for his ballers to go. So he's gonna deploy his ballers from here, and he wants a channel for them to go straight into this compartment. Let's look at what else he does. Okay, so we haven't talked about the baller funneling in detail in any of our videos. I did promise to you guys that I would be making a video on baller funneling. Many of the YouTubers have already done that. I'll still be doing it though, not now. And even not in this video. I'll not explain baller funneling to you for now because we have to move on with this video. So for now, just memorize that when you have to funnel ballers, you essentially have to account for 2 layers shown by the white lines on this base. And for now, just memorize. For now, just ignore this fact. And what he has to do is he wants to send his ballers straight in from here to that A defense, that channel we talked about. So he has to take that A defense. He has to take this A defense out of the way. He has to just eliminate this A defense. If he does that, his ballers are gonna go in. There's no other option for them to. There's no other option for them. You will understand it when we talk about how to funnel ballers in our Keep It in Control series. But for now, just assume that it is a thing. Now, what I particularly dislike about this attack is, I mean, I'm not just gonna be a cheerleader here of my clan and just say that everything they do is something special. No. What I dislike is heal, rage, heal, rage. You are bringing in a cold-blooded kill squad. Okay, you're bringing in a cold-blooded kill squad, but look at the investment you are doing. You're investing 4 spells. You're bringing in 7 dragons. You're investing no spells on your 7 dragons. And look at the chunk of the base that you have to take care of. That is actually... so he actually does get a lot of value though. He does get the queen taken care of, does get the CC eliminated, does get this whole section of the base. He does get all 4 A defenses, but once again guys, cannons are not going to be advantageous to you, especially when you are starting with your air push. And look at the chunk of the base he has left with no rages, no heals, no nothing on your dragons. This is the mistake that you do on your dragons. You think that dragons are invincible, they are so tanky. Yes, they are tanky, but they are not immortal. You need to supplement them with spells, especially when you are bringing 7 dragons, that is 140 troop space. Invest your spells where you invest your account space. That should be the thing to be kept in mind. Alright, so let us look at the actual attack. Troll from Alive of Korra is going up against anti-BAM base from SVK Rebels. Well, these are actually not their original clans. Alive of Korra is a partner AWC clan. SVK Rebels is also a partner AWC clan. This was kind of like a mixed family war, but look at this wall breakers. Just look, he has a test wall breaker there. That is great, that is awesome. That checks for small bombs. And look at 1 tile down, there is a small bomb. So just assume, had that small bomb been 1 tile up, and he would have not used any test wall breakers, all of his wall breakers that he is going to deploy to open that channel would have been gone. They would have been history, they would have been dead, the raid would have ended there. So test wall breakers definitely are going to be something that you are going to look much forward to, especially the casual clans. They are not using that. I mean, even I sometimes ignore that. I mean, the test wall breaker, but it is important, guys, especially with the latest update. When you have those, when you have the damage buff. Now look at the value he gets out of his kill squad. The queen is gone, the CC is gone. Some of the ballers backtrack, reverse. The queen takes out the cannons, so the ballers are going to get a free A defense down at the bottom. He does funnel its dragons using a sacrifice for baby dragon, I guess. And look at that. 7 dragons. We have your skellies. You do not have any heals. You do not have any rages. But look at the portion of the base. They are just going to eat through. They are just going to demolish this whole section of the base. Nothing matters here, guys. Nothing counts. That was what I was talking about in the start of this video. If you can account for A defenses on any section of the base, then your dragons, a group of them, can just eliminate any small or large section. Just imagine if there was a ground army coming at the same section, he would have had to invest more than 140 camp space, and he would have had to invest a spell slot. So this is something that I'm trying to point here, guys. The dragons, they're still viable, they're not extinct, they're still living. So I hope this video helps you to grab a few Town Hall 9v9 triples, especially using dragons, because that is the first thing that every guy at Shadow Warriors is told to upgrade when they get to Town Hall 9. Dragons definitely are going to be something that is not overpowered, and it should not be overpowered. I mean, it is that way and it should be that way. It is balanced. Do not expect 11 to 12 dragons with 4 lightning spells to take out every base. They can work on some bases, not every base. You just have to be creative, you just have to be innovative. But there are cases where dragons are the best option, and this last attack was just exactly a proof of that. So thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I appreciate your support, guys, and thank you for spending some time of your day with me. This is your host from the Shadow, taking your leave. Bye bye for now.